going on, guys? Welcome back to another official video by Jazzy Official. Today we are doing part 2 of the I was rich for years and my mom didn't even notice. So pretty much what happened in the first part was she's a poor girl. Her dad passed away when she was 2, so they had to move into a trailer park. She out of nowhere started getting random envelopes of money every week, starting at $300, $400, $500, $600, up to $5,000. And when she confronted the guy was like, yo, don't ever do that again. Yeah, I guess we're on to part 2. Some random guy approached her in the middle of the night while she was crying on a bench. Her mom's in some serious trouble, financial trouble with illegal drugs and got kidnapped. I guess we'll see what happened. If you guys haven't watched that video before, I highly suggest you go watch. Let's get on with it.
The money, my hands shaking, and told him to stop talking to my mom. But he wasn't going down without a fight. He said he was going to talk to whoever he wanted to. Frustrated, I handed him an extra $1,000, and he was shocked. He said he'd stay away, thankfully. Those next few days stuck at home with my mom was a nightmare. I pretended I had a cold so I couldn't go to school. Of course, she had guys over. I was disgusted hearing her make out with them, so I snuck out the window. I ended up spending a lot of my time with Leo. He thought it was super cool I got expelled, and honestly, he made me feel like the coolest person ever. We went to the mall and shopped together every day. When he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was so happy.
He only wants you to be his girlfriend because he wants more Rolexes, he wants more golf clubs.
I posted a picture of us together, but he asked me to take it down because his parents would ground him for having a girlfriend. One day...
Nah, he just doesn't want to be seen with you. He doesn't want to be seen with you. He's just like, hey man, you're my sugar mama.
He showed me a car he really wanted. He said I'd be the greatest girlfriend ever if I bought it for him. And I told him...
A Porsche 992 GT3 RS. That car looks like an Infiniti G37X for some reason, just based off the tail light.
I would. I had thousands and thousands of dollars saved up, so...
Damn, she's gonna buy him a Porsche.
Who cared? When I got home that same day, I had a letter, but it wasn't a Sunday, so I was surprised. I was even more surprised when I opened the envelope and it was a huge letter. The letter said that Leo was cheating on me with Rebecca, one of our classmates.
Leo, see, I told you, he's just using her for her money. Come on, Leo, you're better than that. Your mama raised you better than that, I thought.
My mysterious money sender told me to stop my relationship with him immediately. I felt so grossed out. How long had he been following me? Was he actually watching my every move? For the first time, the reality that some dude had been watching me my whole life started to sink in. But was he right about Leo? I texted Leo to hang out the next day, but he told me he had plans. I immediately went over to Rebecca's house and sat behind a tree, just out of sight. And you know what I saw? Leo and her in the backyard, laying by the pool and making out.
Told you, Leo is not the guy for you. That's what he's doing on his free time. You gotta reassess the people that you hang out with. Stop giving people money. That's all I'm saying. Except if you want to give me money, that's fine. You ever see me? Yeah, cool. All right, awesome.
My stomach turned. I couldn't believe it. I inched closer to hear what they were talking about, and Rebecca was talking about how ugly I was. Leo laughed and agreed with her, saying he was just in it for the money. I had never been that mad.
I told you, he was just in it for the money. And isn't Rebecca like super popular girl at school? And she became friends with her because of her money? Reality check, whatever your name is, Mia. You gotta, see, I told you, you gotta reassess your people.
Before in my life. Frustrated, I stormed off and decided I needed to get revenge in the best way possible. The next morning, my suspension from school was officially up. When I pulled up to the school, I felt like $1,000,000 because I was pulling up in the exact car that Leo wanted. He was so stoked at.
Nice. G37X. Infinity. I love it.
First, thinking it was a surprise for him, so he ran to me and asked for the key. But then I dropped the bomb on him in front of everyone. We're over. This car...
Nice. In front of everybody. Perfect. That's awesome. I love that. Drop the bomb, my guy.
Car is a gift for myself because I tolerated you all this time. I've never seen someone get that embarrassed. People were laughing at him and asking me if they could get in my car and go for a spin. And I deserved all that praise because buying the car was not easy. They were super nervous about taking all cash from a 16-year-old. And I get it, it probably looked a little sketchy, but it was my money, one way or another. Now all I had to worry about was hiding the car from my mom, or so I thought. When I came back from taking the car for a spin, there were police all over the place. They yanked me out of the car and put me in handcuffs. It felt like I was in a nightmare. I asked what this was about, and the cops told me it was for using and distributing counterfeit money. I was spiraling. The money
was fake. So I could literally go on Amazon and get a stack of $10,000 prop money. It's about $10, I believe, on Amazon. I was looking into it, just prop money for photo booths and for a short film. That idea that I had
been given all those years was fake? Who the heck was sending me it? Were they trying to set me up? I tried to explain through tears on the way to the police station, but they weren't having it. When I finally got there, they put me in a cold, dark room and started
Save the waterworks for the judge, Mia.
Interrogating me. I knew I couldn't keep my secret anymore. I told them about all the letters and about how long I had been getting them. I even told them about all the things I had spent the money on. At first, they didn't seem like they believed me, but as they continued interrogating me, they realized my story hadn't changed. After 8 hours, they let me out with a plan in mind. They'd stake out the house on a Sunday, block the road, and catch the person behind this. When I walked out, my mom was standing there. She knew everything now, and she was not happy. When I told her I'd been paying our bills, she looked a bit ashamed. We didn't talk the entire ride home. When Sunday came, we both sat in the living room with the blinds open, waiting to see it all happen. I felt sick to my stomach. I was giving up someone who had changed my life, someone who had helped me so much over the years. His car pulled up, and all the police lights flashed on. I started to cry, and I bolted out of the house to see him. I needed to apologize for all of this. He tried to drive away from the cops, and a huge chase started. The cops had either side of the road blocked off, but he was ramming into cars, desperate to get out. Sparks were flying everywhere, car alarms were going off. He was even tearing up people's yards. Finally, the cops chased his car into our front yard. They pinned him against the side of the house and yanked him out. I called out to him, apologizing while
So they did a whole ass circle. You had 8,000 different intersections you could have gone through. He did a whole circle around this person's house, and you were going full speed.
Cops held me back. Then the cops ripped off his mask, and my world fell apart. I recognized the man underneath the mask. It wasn't one of my mom's ex-boyfriends. It wasn't a neighbor. It was my dad.
Her dad's alive! Yo! Damn! After all these years, creepy ass dad, by the way. What kind of letters were those?
My dad, who had died when I was 2. Now, it was him apologizing. My mom and I stood there in absolute shock while they put him in the cop car. When we found out the real story, I couldn't believe it. After I was born, my mom and dad were fighting a lot. The stress of raising a family was apparently too much for him, so he left for work one day and faked his own death by crashing a boat. He had a float with him to get to shore, and that's when he started a whole new life. He couldn't get a job without an ID, so he started making counterfeit money to get himself by. By the time he realized how unhappy he was and how much he missed us, he thought it was too late to come back. Instead, he watched us from a distance. He knew about my mom's issues, so he gave me the money to take care of us. He had watched every birthday party, every game, every trip I had ever taken, and now he was going to jail for 20 years. Now all the money I had was gone, and I was poor again. I can lie and say I'm happier now without the money, but I'm not. And I also lost all my friends because everyone thinks my father is a mob boss. But yesterday...
Of course you're gonna lose your friends, not because if your friends think that your father is a mob boss, but you're poor.
You're fucking poor!
And I mean that in the nicest way possible. Your friends were only there in it for the money and free gifts and cars and Gucci and Louis V and Rolexes and golf, which, yeah.
I received a mysterious envelope with a ton of cash inside, and to be honest, I don't know what to do.
But is that cash real? That's the $1 million question. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. That is the end of this story. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 and part 2 now of this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe icon and that bell icon. Otherwise, your room will turn into quicksand. She said it, not me. I'm in the quicksand world already. I didn't subscribe to somebody and I got sucked into this quicksand, and now I'm in this dimension alone. So if you don't subscribe, you're gonna come join me, and it is brutal here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Peace out.
And I'm feeling